bruise goes in maybe in limestone 1/4 of an inch. Limestone is softened, so it absorbs it and it stops the bruising. But marble, in some marbles, it can go 1/2 an inch or 3/4 of an inch in underneath the point of the break. Wow. So that means that the marble that's 3/4 of an inch underneath the surface is all worthless, and that marble all has to be taken off more gently, so that without leaving bruises and without bruising. So to get the final marble without a single bruise on it, you have to really slow down, as you come in, as you focus.
What different stones have you worked with?
Well, mostly just marble and limestone because it's all calcium. This doesn't kill you, whereas other stuff has silicas in it.
For breathing
and for
purposes.
Breathing.
Well, yeah, because this...
Well, right, this is really powdery, and it's probably not too good to breathe anyway, but it is calcium, so,
yeah,
at least it's good for my stomach lining and my teeth and bones.
So we've got Brute has signed this, and Pokemon,
and I can't read this one.
But as you were saying, they're signing it before it's really art, or maybe it's art and they're signing it for what's.
This was as we were setting it up, that was the scrape by the.
I see.
The straps.
So it's almost every mark really does have a.
We'll leave its sign, yeah.
And I never knew that before, that you really do have to be careful about your chipping action with your with your chisels and things, and that I mean that is you can go oops.
You can go oops, definitely, and at the end of the sculptures when you break them. It's the last 3 days of work or something that you're going to break something.
How nervous do you get?
Pretty nervous, and a lot of things can affect you if you don't want to work when you're upset. I know one of the bad times I broke a sculpture was because I had dealt with some people who were really rude just before. And
that energy came through,
and it just upset me, and so
yeah,
that's a painful loss.
And I couldn't. And when I went back to work, I was thinking about what I had just experienced, and
living your life.
Yeah, and so I deserved to have a break, but it was again, it's a bad lesson. I should have known better and just gone take a walk or something.
But actually, what your process is that what you do, maybe 3 or 4 big pieces. That's all you can do in a year, right?
Not even. Usually, it's like if I do one monumental piece a year, that's enough abuse. And then I'll do a couple life-size pieces, and then.
So you vary it for your own stuff. Yeah.
A dozen, maybe little pieces. No, I work on multiple pieces at a time.
I see.
Yeah, I have pieces going.
How many can you handle mentally, you think, at a time?
I can handle a lot, because some pieces can sit for 6 months without touching them.
Okay. And you sort of lose.
I'm just walking. I'm doing something else. I'm walking, but I'm looking at it every day.
Okay, so but you say a dozen or so. You could keep balls in the air, sort of, or more.
Yeah, because I just if they're around, I'm looking at them.
And it's not going to go away.
It's not going to go away. And if I see something that's really bugging me, after 6 months, I'll go and work on it and change it.
So sometimes, so what causes you to leave a piece is often maybe you're
lots of things. I've left pieces because I felt I didn't have the skill yet to go on, and so let it sit for a year while I learn something more.
So you're still learning at 50.
I think you're always learning, hopefully. But part of the creative process is that you see, if you're doing what you know what you're doing, how to do, then you're doing what you know how to do. And you're going to come up with the results that you have come up with. But only when you are backed into a corner and you have no more solutions do you pull out the creative act. So the creative act is really an act of desperation. And so how do you create desperateness in you? How do you pull out the best in you? You have to put yourself into the corner. So order yourself a huge block, spend thousands of dollars to get it here, and then chip it off without having any idea, and you get yourself in a pretty desperate situation.
Of course, you don't want to get too upset while you're desperate, correct?
Fear is your friend.
Ah, okay.
Because if you're afraid, then you're on the right track.
Well, in comedy writing, we're always told trouble is our friend.
There you go.
Right? Same way.
And
get them in trouble and keep them going there. So right now, today, 2 days into it, you have no idea what this is going to be.
None.
It's just some brute force.
You know, thousands of pounds of stone will have to come off of here before I figure that out.
Is that a common sculpting process? Or
No,
is this...
I don't think so.
I don't think
certainly
so
not
either.
the classical approach.
The classical approach is not intuitive.
Is always to make a model, and that model is then transferred into the stone using various technical means.
Ooh. So how many people work like you that
Well,
you know
not
of?
too many.
Have you met anybody that you feel is a kindred spirit in terms of the way you work?
A few, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
Some
America,
that worked,
any?
No, some that worked with me in my studio.
I see, okay.
Yeah.
Contemporaries who are sort of tuned into the same way of looking at it then.
Or drawn to this, and through discussions were willing to explore it. One particular amazing young Vietnamese man.
How young?
Oh, he's in his maybe 28, 30 now. And he's very talented. There I go, you know, but he's very driven.
But you feel that, or you're acting as a mentor for him then?
I think I've given him what the message is simple. You got to do it anyway. I can't do it for you.
Yeah, all right.
You know, but I've guided people through an evening or 2 evenings or whatever through projects like these to show that it's accessible. It's not. I'm just doing my gig, but you could do it too.
I learned how to make bread at say 61.
You know, the idea is that the creative process is really open to everybody, and just have fun and do your best.
Now you've been in Mendocino area how long?
A couple years now.
Just a couple years.
But we started here. I met my wife here.
Okay.
At the Arts Center.
And then you went.
Then we went to Italy.
Italy, and then came. Okay, so you've just been back from Italy just for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel that in the future you will make retreats back there, keep those alive?
I have gone in every year.
Okay.
We were back a few months, and I left immediately. I was there several months.
Because that's really the motherland for all this.
Well, I had a big project to do back on the East Coast, and I needed a 25-ton block, and I had to rough it out. And so it was good to be back immediately there. And then last year, I went back and got another block and stayed for.
Oh, so you went actually to choose the actual block.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that you said yesterday was that one goal of yours would be to go to a quarry and actually do something in place in the quarry.
Or in a quarry or anywhere. I'm interested in making a real sacred Stonehenge, you know.
That's in the place.
In some place.
Yeah.
I could imagine it on the headlands here.
As you were saying that last night, I went away and I thought, you know, if you started at the top of a big structure like that and made planting terraces.
We were talking about a museum type thing in the abandoned quarries.
Yes, right.
Yes, I've had those projects already. I presented to many government agencies in Italy. Yeah.
If there were planting terraces in there, you could plant within the sculpture too, right?
Sure.
The hanging gardens of...
Except plants make sculptures really dirty.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, they drip on sap and all sorts of stuff.
So you want to try to keep this away from...
underneath trees.
Well, then we won't do that.